Hello everyone. Right, so in this next video, I'm talking about Emmet. Now, Emmet, just like you can see here, it's it's a toolkit for web developers, and it's quite a beautiful site. I'm going to drop the link to this site. Emmet naturally comes with, it's inbuilt with our VS Code. For instance, I'm sure you've wondered, or probably you might have wondered that how come is it that when you press I thought of this short property exclamation. If you look at here, if you do it, you see what they wrote Emmet abbreviation. So Emmet is that functionality in VS Code that allows us to write longer things, but in an abbreviated manner. So one of those abbreviations is this one. Once I type this, it brings out all this whole skeleton for us. That is an abbreviation that is built into VS Code through um through Emmet. Beyond that, there are a few other things that we can do. For instance, now look at if I type input, for instance, let me type input, it brings out suggestions. They all are done by Emmet. If you look at this Emmet abbreviation, I can click something now. For instance, let me click input email. Can you see by itself it sets the type to email? I'm sure we've not talked about input, for instance, so you might find it confusing. Let me try the anchor tag, since that's what you're familiar with. Now look at, we have different options. Anchor tag, there's this column, blank, link, mail, telephone. So let's click on the link and see. Can you see the anchor tag href is set to http dot where you're going to put your link. Let's try any other option from the anchor tag. Anchor tag blank. Wow, I've actually not even tried this before. The link is there where you're going to put your link in the href. Target blank, rel, relative, no opener, no referrer. Let's see. So for every of these things, they are all, for instance, let me see what we've done. Okay, I think we've dealt with UL. Okay, UL does not even have, I click on it, it only closes the opening tag for us. All of those are done via Emmet. Now, beyond those little ones that we used to, you can actually go. I'm going to drop the link, like I said. They have what they call the cheat sheets. You can actually spend time to read their documentation page, watch the demo video if you care so much to do, and then you don't need to download it because, like I said, it's already an inbuilt functionality in your VS Code. But then, looking at the documentation, they have various examples. For instance, now let me look at something that okay. Look at this now. Peradventure you want something like this, and a UL with 5 list tags inside. Instead of me typing this one after the other, I can just copy them or write this UL greater than symbol LI times 5. If you remember back to I told us about, when you want to write lorem ipsum and you want more than one of it, and I said you will just type lorem times 5 or times whatever you want. Now look at LOR already pops out this thing. If I click on it, it completes it for me. I didn't type it all. Now that is one of the good things that this Emmet does. But in this case, if I do lorem times, my times here is shift and 8 on a Windows laptop times 6. That is, give me that word, 6 of it. If I hit on enter, I have more of it. So all of those things are all done via Emmet. So now in this case, you probably have more interesting examples. We have this UI and this greater than symbol. This greater than symbol, we call it's a child, it's a child property. So we have LIs that are children of UL, and we have times 5 of it. So naturally, if I do LI times 5, look at what I'm going to have because of Emmet. LI times 5. Can you see? I have 5 LIs. I didn't type that by myself. If I have this UL, then greater than symbol, LI. It means give me one UL tag with one LI nested inside of it. I have it exactly as I wanted. Now I can even do LI times 3. So that is, give me one UL with 3 LIs inside of it. That is one of so many examples, instances. We have multiplication. You have the numbering. Look at this one now. Okay, you will not. Let's ignore this one because we've not gotten into CSS. Let me look for more any other instance that something you relate with. Okay, this is just similar to what we did now. This is a sibling shorthand property. I want a div. After the div, I want a paragraph. And after the paragraph, I now want this. I could just do, okay, for instance, let's do, I want an h1. So I could do h1 plus h2 plus h3. This one, they are all going to stand separately. They are not nested inside each other. If I hit enter, it gives me an h1, an h2, and an h3 tag separately. So that is another instance where it can be used. We have various ones, so you can just, try them out. If we start checking them out, I mean, there are quite so many of them, so many, so many, so many. Look at this markup, for instance. Now your header, if I just copy this, let's just copy it and paste it. If I copy that shortcut alone and I paste it here, let me remove this. Okay, I paste it here. Inside the div, give me a child. This is going to be the child. Inside the child, it will have an header element. The header element will have a UL element as well as a child. Then the UL element will have two LI elements. Each of these LI elements will have anchor tag nested inside them. Then after that, you now give me a separate footer. And inside the footer, you give me a paragraph. Let me see. Okay, why is that not working? All right. Can you see? So it can be really used for fun things if you know how to use it, and if it's something you are interested in. Me personally, well, I really don't get to use it. I would just probably type it the normal way. So you can just so many things here. So you can spend more time on their documentation and just look at how the whole work. They're just shorthand properties. Just like this is the one I taught us about. Exclamation gives you all of this HTML skeleton. You can have an anchor tag with a link, an anchor tag with a mail type set to href set to mail, different things. So I'm going to drop the link to this particular page. If something you probably find interesting, you can actually spend more time learning about it, and trust me, to make your code writing very fast, because it's actually essential to be able to write code fast, especially when you have so many lines of code to write. In a page, you might actually be writing over 1,000 lines of code in just one project. Rather, just one project, you might actually have, yeah, over 1,000 lines of code in just one project. I mean, even more than that, actually. So you don't want to spend forever. You might actually have targets. You probably working with a team in a company, and you don't just do the job at your own pace. Say, okay, whenever I finish. No, you have to finish. They will give a stipulated time to which you must be done. So there will be need for speed. And I think these shorthand properties could actually, especially if you know you are probably naturally, maybe you're not a fan of typing, or you are a very slow typer, you can just get these things and pick them. But for someone like me, I enjoy typing. I'm not the fastest, but the more I type, I believe the faster I become. So once again, I'm going to drop the link with this video. Thank you. See you in the next video. In the next video, we're talking about HTML tables. See you in the next video, which is a new section.